Welcome back to one more video of my channel Ishika Banerjee, and from today we are going to start a new subject in the same channel, that is English. And for CBSE ICSE both we are going to do, but presently we are doing for CBSEs, and as required we will keep on posting videos. Okay, so please go through our channels, and I will start a poem, that is a photograph of class 11, and it is written by Shirley Tolson. Okay, so I'm starting. The cardboard shows me how it was when the two girl cousins went paddling, each one holding one of my mother's hand, and she, the big girl, some 20 years or so. So here the word cardboard means photograph. Okay, and the poet Shirley Tolson is trying to pay a tribute to her mother. Okay, and she is telling that it is a photograph when her mother was child, and she had went to a sea beach with her cousins. Okay, and they are paddling is you all know what is it, and each one is holding one of her mother's hand, that is her mother is in the middle, and the two cousins are holding one this side and one that side. They're holding both the hands of her mother. Okay, and she is the big, and her mother is the biggest of all three, amongst all three. Okay, and her mother is some 12 years old or so, and all three stood to smile through their hairs at the uncle with the camera. And so the photograph is being clicked. Okay, so the poet is trying to tell that her mother and her two cousins were standing together to click a pictures. And why is it written this, that to click the pictures that stood still to smile through hairs, means that in the sea beach wind is blowing, and in the wind what is happening, that wind is blowing. So what is happening is that when the wind is blowing, hairs are like there is a wind in the sea, and their hairs are falling in their face. So that is only said in this line, that her mother went to a sea beach, and then what happened, that her uncle was clicking the picture. Who was clicking? A question can come. Her uncle was clicking it. Okay, and the poet is telling that when the picture is being clicked, her the face was full of hair. Why? As the wind was blowing. So the wind was blowing, that's why the hair was falling in the face. Okay, this is what the poet is trying to say. And her uncle, at the uncle with the camera, of sweet face, my mother's that was before I was born. Now the poet is telling that her mother was very sweet before she was born. Okay, and at the sea, which appears to have changed less, washed their terrible transient feet. Now these two lines are very important. Here the poet is telling that human beings are not immortal, and whereas the sea is permanent, it is mortal. Human beings live, but after certain times they die. That only the poet is trying to say, that what is the poet trying to say? The poet is trying to say this, that people don't live forever. People die, but the sea is permanent. The sea is not changed. The sea remains the same as it is. That was during her mother's time, but even now it is the same. There is no change. Okay, and in this line he is telling that her mother's transient feet, means human beings keep on roaming here and there. So that is meant by transient feet, that now her mother has died, but that word transient means that she is no more, but the memories are there. Okay, and transient feat means that what does the word transient feat means? Transient feat means that people are not permanent, they are temporary, so they keep their footprints here and there, but the sea waves wash them out. Wash them means the feet, the feet which in the sands, when we give our feet, then there is a stamp. So that is washed out once if the wave comes. That only she is trying to say. Now next is some 20-30 years later, she laughed at the snapshot, say, see, Betty and Dolly. So what is her mother saying? The poet is saying instead of her mother that some 20-30 years later she laughed at the snapshot. When her mother was seeing it, she laughed at the snapshot, and he is trying to say that, and her mother is telling, see, Betty and Dolly, she'd said, and look how they dressed up for the beach. And he is telling that the poet is telling that, see, actually this is her mother is saying, as she is going through the photo, she is telling that, see, Betty and Dolly, how they have been dressed for the sea. Okay, that only her mother is trying to say. Now again, these two lines are very important, that the sea holidays was her past and mine is her laughter. Both ray with the labored ease of laws. So what is the meaning of these two lines? The poet is telling this, that her mother's past was that sea beach picture which she used to see, and her past means the poet's past is this, that her mother's laughter. Why is it her past? Because her mother has already died. Okay, and both eased, both is disappointed. Both is disappointed at that point, as and with the labored ease of loss. Okay, with that both were unhappy for this loss. For this loss, they both were not happy. They both were very unhappy. Okay, the last part is what? Now, see, now this poem is divided into three parts. Okay, the first part is the past. Okay, this last part, which I will now read, is the present. What? That now she had dead nearly as many years as the girl lived. In the present, what is the poet telling? That her mother has expired, means has died. Okay, and of this circumstances there is nothing to say at all. It's silence. So here the poet is telling that at this present moment, at this present circumstances, there is nothing to say. He is very silent in silence. Okay, so this was the chapter photograph. Now this is the first video for English which I am explaining. Okay, now we will keep on posting videos on English, and if you all have any thing that you all want that I explain, you all can put it in the comment section. Okay, thank you.